Peace and blessings. This is Jakim from the Hard Talk with Jakim show. Can't get enough of the Hard Talk with Jakim show? You can email us at btom6164@gmail.com. That's bthomp6164@gmail.com. Peace and blessings, family. How you doing? This is your man, Jakim, with the Hard Talk with Jakim show. Listen, I haven't been on for a while because we was dealing with a lot of family stuff up in New York City, back and forth from Delaware to New York and all that other good stuff. But we're back, and we actually have, this is one of 3 shows we're going to be having within the next week. So we got a show on Friday, and I want you to check out the show on Friday. If you live in Wilmington, Delaware, you're going to want to know about the people, that information about the land bank, and we're going to do that this Friday. Also, we've got next Sunday, we have someone that's going to talk to you about commercial lending and getting lending for commercial and residential properties. So we're going to be doing a lot of shows in the next couple of days, man. And listen, I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm going to tell you the reason why. I wasn't going to say it. I told my wife I wasn't going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. Man, I have not fell in over a decade. I'm pretty good. You know, we got the, I used to train MMA fighters on their conditioning, and I used to do all that. But today I actually fell and tweaked the knee a little bit today. And that's very rare. I know I have not fell on the ground at least over 10 years. I mean, from all the basketball, football, all the stuff, I have not done that in over. And I did it today. And the reason why I did it today is because I wasn't paying attention. I was already 4 hours ahead walking, and you know how that goes. So I got a little thing with my knee. We're going to be all right with y'all. So listen, I got a great show for you tonight. I'm going to show you some clips from some stuff that's happening now. I'm going to show you things that you may not have seen either on Instagram or TikTok, or you may not even know on mainstream media. But we are going to talk about cracktivists. Yes, we are going to get into our discussion about community cracktivists and sellout Timmys. Listen, let me jump into that real quick. And I'm going to come back to it. We're going to circle around to it. I'm going to show you some clips, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Now, when I say community cracktivists and sellout Timmys, I'm talking about people who are from the neighborhood who claim to be for social justice, that are either alcoholics, drug addicts, users, whatever you want to call it, but yet they're unreliable, that you can't count on them, they have no accountability, and you just know that sooner or later they're going to be in your local newspaper saying that they was buying something or they hit their wives. In fact, we've got a lot of political leaders here in Delaware that's like that. We actually got a lot of political leaders that's like that. Believe me, it always comes out in the wash. I'd be the first one to tell you that. But let me just tell you about it. So what we have in our communities, especially in Black communities, we have a lot of people who are former drug addicts or just not quite drug addicts that claim to be for criminal justice. Now, I do have to give props to Bishop Swan. Big shout outs to Bishop Talbot Swan, because it was on his post that I saw this and I said, he's absolutely right. So big shout out to you, brother Talbot Swan. He was talking about one that's up there in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I have a whole bunch of them here. Now, I'm not talking about anybody who has been a drug addict or alcoholic or any type of addiction, and they overcame that addiction and they're doing well. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that everybody knows they are on some stuff and they are unreliable. You can't count on them. In fact, like I said earlier, you just know they're going to be in the local. So why are they propped up to represent us in the Black community? You know why that is. Because when you're troubled, you are controllable. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. You've heard me for years say that. So with the sellout Timmys that we have, and let me just get on there's a difference between the Cracktivists and the sellout Timmys. They almost look the same. Yeah, that's the guy that you knew from the neighborhood, used to play ball with. He used to be down. He used to be cool. And you can relate to him. Either he became a cop or he became a fireman or a political person. And you know that they did more stuff than you and they still doing stuff. Those are the sellout Timmys, because whatever position of power that people give them, they are going to abuse it, because that's what they do. I told you this, and Bill Burr told you this. Let me tell you, let me just talk to you about comedian Bill Burr. A lot of people cannot stand him. He was on Saturday Night Live, I think about a year or so ago, and he was hitting so much truth, people couldn't stand it. But one of the ones he says, you know, like I know, this world is run by psychos. I mean, nutbags, dingleberries are running this world. This is why we have what we have. These dingleberries are running it. Now, don't get me wrong. Not everybody in politics is a dingleberry or a psycho. Not everybody in politics is a wackaloon who has no conscience. But most are. You know why? Because if you see the laws and policies that they pass and have no guilt about it, you have to be a psycho. The problem is, like Bill Burr said in his comedy thing, of course, he used way more profanity than I'm going to use tonight. Bill Burr said, and he's absolutely right, the problem is we let the psychos win. We let these dingleberries and nutbags win. Why are we letting the wackadoo? In your own community, in your civic association, go to your civic association. Guess who's running it? Psychos. Go to your legislative hall. Doesn't matter what state you live in. Guess who's running it? Psychos with no conscience, no guilt. Guess who's been running the big companies for profit, and greed? Psychos. No conscience, no guilt. The problem is we have consciences, us good people, no matter whether you're white, black, Chinese, Asian, it doesn't really matter. We have a conscience, but that's part of our problem. We should be killing these psychos, but I'm just saying. When I say killing, I'm not talking about actually putting a bullet in anybody's head. What we're saying is remove them from power. Remove them from power. We've got too many psychos, whether it be your homeowners association, your HOA or whatever, or whether it be your school board. There are psychos all around. They are all around us. And y'all know that. Now, let me just go back to the community cracktivists. Now, one of the things that I've said about the cracktivists is I could almost spot. I think, believe you me, I believe I am a true serum for spotting the cracktivists. Listen, I don't do any drugs, and I don't bother anybody who does marijuana or coke. And if you got it under control, I really don't care. As long as you controlling that. 9 times out of 10, they're not. 9 times out of 10, it's controlling them. I was told years ago, and you know it, drugs and alcohol was here. It's meant to ruin your lives. Period. Drugs and alcohol are meant to ruin your lives. But if you can handle it, I got no more power to you. I ain't got no beef with you. Somebody asked me, somebody saw one of my posts about 2 weeks ago and saw that my eyes were lady. He said, hey, you must be smoking. No, Jakim don't smoke. There's no reason for me to smoke. I ain't got no, listen, I love life. And I hope you love life too. So, but I'm not going to beat up on anybody who does smoke. But here's where it gets tricky. When you have community cracktivists representing or actually speaking for us in the community, and you know they ain't going to do nothing but get themselves in trouble. Those community cracktivists, if you get them in power, If you get them in your city council or your state, they're going to take money out. They're going to embezzle. They're going to do what the other psychos do. And they're going to be the ones that get caught all the time. They're going to be the ones, especially if you're black, you're going to be the one that's going to have to do the time when others don't have to do the time. So this is the reason why I talk about that. And this is the reason why I put that up. The same thing with the sellout Timmys. Let me tell you about the sellout Timmys. You know, one of the things that we have in our communities that we have to stop saying is that I want somebody who's from the community. Most of the time, the people who from the community will sell you out quicker than somebody who ain't from the community. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I just said? 9 times out of 10, in my experience, the people that's from the community will sell you out quicker than people that ain't from the community. And when I'm saying ain't from the community, I'm not talking about like if you're in Brooklyn or Queens and the people are from Ronkonkoma. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, Ronkonkoma, if you don't know, Ronkonkoma is in Long Island. What I am saying is that the people who are from your community, if you give them a little bit of power, they get cliquish. Then they become the sellouts Timmys. They're the ones who always want to go to the galas, the dinners, and the stuff. Don't want to really do the stuff in the street that is necessary. You know it in your own civic associations. You know it in your own homeowners association, your school board, your city council, your state representatives, and all the time. You see them. So the sellout Timmys are people that are from the community that you know ain't going to do you no good. And so the community cracktivists, they usually run parallel. But let me just show you this real quick, y'all. So on our first break, I'm going to show you a video from Dr. Richie, and big shout outs to Dr. Richie. Dr. Richie has a great show. If you don't watch the Young Turks, he's got a great show on there. But listen to Dr. Richie real quick, and then I'm going to show you a video after. I'm going to slide into the double standards. Right now, we're going to get into the double standards.
Many times when a white male or even a white female is charged, there's an effort to either minimize the charges to the bare minimum or not overcharge at all. But then an African American is charged, black or brown person, there's this sentiment to overcharge them, to make the charges extreme, knowing many of them would not stick, and then making them fight to get those charges dropped. I'm sure you've seen.
Yes. What do you have to say?
I am sorry. For everyone. I really am.
You know that, right?
They fucked my life up.
Exactly. This is not everybody's best day. People should protest at least.
You did this. You did this. You people's lives up. Tabitha can't concentrate. She has cognitive. She can't play with her kids. She can't help them with her homework. You people's lives up. You're the one. You're a criminal. You're a criminal.
All right, y'all. I'm not going to show you the video of her plowing down a protest. Yeah, she was a Queens woman who plowed her car into a Black Lives Matter protest in Midtown and was berated by demonstrators outside the Manhattan court. So she was just found out. She just went to court, and the Manhattan district attorney gave a plea deal. Okay, is this the same one that's after Trump? Okay, so he just gave a deal in which she got such a sweetheart deal. She plowed people down. This lady from Queens, her name is Kathleen Casillo, 53. She was facing 7 years in jail. In fact, if you see on the clip, the lady says, my husband wasn't even facing you. So how are you going to say they were aggressive protesters? Of course, we don't believe that because it's just lies. That's what they always do. And you know, that's what we're talking about. So when Dr. Richie said that earlier, that they're always bending over backwards, the double standards, the hypocrites, the hypocrisy, that's what I meant to say. The hypocrisy is so blaring. You know, it's like somebody's lying to you and they get mad that you know they're lying and they lie for another lie. It just don't make any sense. But yes, This is exactly what Dr. Ritchie was talking about, how the double standards in the criminal justice system. Now, as a former law enforcement and from New York City, I know very well about how the criminal justice system works. And just like Dr. Ritchie says, this lady is getting no time. She mowed down Black Lives Matter protesters, and she's getting no time. All right, y'all. So I've got something else to show you, and I want to show you this because I'm always talking about domestic violence. I'm always talking about intimate partner violence. That's very important to me, just like it's important to many people out there. I personally don't like those words. I like to call it an assault and call it for what it is. But they use these soft languages, and like George Carlin would say. But check this one out. Just real quick.
There is nothing better in the world.
A few months ago, I did a podcast talking about how my ex-wife shot me. A clip of that video went viral. Here it is. Now, if you know that story, you know that I was holding our 2-year-old son during an argument. My ex-wife pulled a gun on me, shot me in the forearm. The bullet went through my forearm, grazed his forehead. Then she pointed the gun at my face and squeezed the trigger, and the gun jammed. God protected me. What you don't know is that I divorced her immediately. I got custody of our son, and she did 3 years in prison. She went on with her life, I went on with mine. Quick update, she just got arrested for murdering her boyfriend. It's all over the news. A Georgia woman was arrested years after the body of a man was found in an Alabama shallow grave. Long story short, she found out her boyfriend was cheating, shot him in the head 3 times while he was asleep.
Okay, y'all. So, again, this happens more often than not in America. It happens more often than not. Now, the gun violence happens. This is us. We own this gun violence. Nobody has gun violence like the United States of America. Let's call it what it is. And there's warring factions all over this world. But still, nobody has the gun violence that we have. We're number one. Let me just say this. That was Charlie Newhart. And Charlie Newhart, you're probably seen him on some stuff. He's a comedian. He's an actor. But he was being dead serious about that. His ex-wife did do 3 years. I looked it up. She did do 3 years in jail, got out, and now has been arrested for another murder. So here's my thing. Now, the person that put this out there says modern women. You can't play with modern women or whatever. Let me just say this. Women have been killing guys for a long time. Guys kill women more than women kill guys. We know this. Nobody's got to tell you this. But if you think that just because they're modern women now that they're willing to put bullets in your head for just a transgression of cheating on them, you're crazy. It's been going on forever. Jealousy is the worst emotion. I've been telling you on this show, money is not the root of all evil. Whoever told you that was lying. Jealousy, number one. Jealousy is the root of all evil. When someone is jealous, their inhibitions go away. Their character comes out. It's usually that evil character. When they are jealous of you, it is the worst emotion to have. Worst emotion. Things can happen in an instance. And jealousy is rooted in all facets of life. It could be rooted in family. It could be rooted in all facets of life. So I will tell anybody, do not tell me that money is the root of all evil. I have seen it for myself. Jealousy is. And let me just say this. Big shout out to my man, David Goggins, man. I like his stuff. He's really good. But he had a very good point on this. Somebody can be jealous of you and have more things than you have. Don't ever think it's about things. Yes, it can be about things. Yes, it can be about things. But more often than not, the jealousy is to try to destroy your joy because they do not have it. That's where the jealousy comes in. That's where bullying come in. That's when the racism come in. That's where the bigotry comes in. And that's when all of that crazy stuff in. That's what really did. Now, let me just go. We're going to circle right back to the Cracktivists, y'all. And I'm going to play a clip from Irv Gotti. And if you don't know who Irv Gotti is, in late 80s, early 90s, he was big with Murder Inc. Ja Rule. He had Ja Rule. He had Ashanti. He had a couple of other different acts. It was a big thing. But let me just show you what a community cracktivist or a sellout Timmy looks like, even if they got money. Let me show you.
There is nothing better in the world than having a rich, successful white man blow you up to another rich, successful white man. It resonates kind of harder when Zach calls Olivier and like, yo, Gotti made the Universal Music Group billions. You need to get behind this. He's going to be successful. He's going to win. And, you know, and then incredible things happen, like $250 million deals. Yes! There is nothing better.
Oh, all right, y'all. Y'all heard that. Outside validation, all of those things. This is what these sellout Timmys do. You heard him. Now, I don't know if he was drinking enough wine. I don't know if it was on a drunk podcast, you know, the one that's where all the hip hop people go on. I don't know if he was feeling himself or he was but he seemed generally happy that a white man would brag to another white man. He said there's nothing better in the world, better feeling in the world. Y'all, I don't operate that way. And I hope you don't either. That's a sellout Timmy. So we'll circle back one more time. I think I got a couple of more things. Oh, we got a comment here. I think we got yes, Sister Carmela Crawford has got peace and blessings to you, sister. Yeah, absolutely right. And it's always good to see you. You know, Carmela, if you're still on here, I want to just say this. That's one of the reasons why all of our civic associations, especially in Delaware, I used to talk to a lot of people from the civic associations before the pandemic. And one of the things that I used to get from all the civic associations or homeowners associations or HOAs is how they hate their homeowners association, how they hate their civic association. You know why? Because it's run by psychos. Those people are crazy. They're clique crazy. They don't want to do what is right. They want to have prestige. They don't want to do what is important. They want to have status. These people are crazy. And all of us good people in this world need to get rid of all those crazy people. There's way more good people in this world. I say this like crime. You know, you see on, especially local news. Local news love to propagate that black people are doing all this crime, and yet they don't tell you about all the white crimes that's being happening. That's what local news does. But let me just say this. If you go to the crime stats or the crime statistics from the FBI, you will see that only 10% of the people do 100% of the crimes. Only 10%. Even in my community, I walk down my block, I already know 8 or 9 of the 10 knuckleheads out of the 500 people that live on the block. It's only 10%. It's the same ones. But you notice that they're always propping that up. It's the same way with these psychos. These psychos that run, whether it be political, whether it be civic, whether it be nonprofits. I've seen the last couple of years, I've seen some really wackaloons running nonprofits. Yet, the nonprofits that are doing the right thing, the ones that are 501c3s that are doing, they can't get a lick because they're not part of the psychos. They're not out there stealing money. They're not out there doing all that stuff and not trying to go to every gala that they want to, but don't give the stuff to people. So And Sister Crawford, you know what I'm talking about. You absolutely right. You know what I'm talking about. There are some great 501c. Let me tell you, 5 years ago, I had a really nasty feeling about 501c3s, especially here in Delaware, since we have over 1.5 million 501c3s that are registered here in Delaware. Yet our school systems is like some of the worst in the world. I mean, I'm not even saying we're the worst in America. We are at some of the bottom list of America, but we are bad in the world. Our school system. Yet we've got millions of companies that register here in Delaware. We got millions and millions of companies, not just the 501c3s, but we had, just a couple of weeks ago, we had the Fox and the Dominion voting, the voting machine thing. And that trial was here, right here in Delaware, right in Wilmington. You see me have videos in front of the Leonard Justice Center. And used to be called Newcastle. Then it was Leonard. It was supposed to be Leonard from Jump Street. You see me do videos there. It's crazy on how we have so many people register here in Delaware, and our school system is terrible. Now, we have some school board elections coming up very shortly. I think May something, because we're already in May 2nd. We have some school board elections, but here's my problem with some of this stuff. You may be a nice person, and you may go into the school board to fix your school district. You may go in there with that concept. The problem is you're just one person. You got 5 or 6 psychos here that always think they want to be in charge. That's the problem. There's not enough of us good people, those of good people, good sisters, good brothers, good people out there in these positions. It's time for us to wipe these psychos out. Get them out of there. These community cracktivists, the sellout Timmys, the nutbags, the dingleberries, all of these people need to get out of there. So let me just go here. One more thing I have to do before we move on to another video and another topic. Remember, Friday, I'm going to have my man David Ross from the Land Bank. He's going to be here from Wilmington Land Bank. Now, the Land Bank is going to be is very important because you could get some houses for next to nothing as long as you got some stuff, as long as you got different credit. And hold on, let me just say this, yo. I've got so many people lined up that want to get on the Hard Talk with Jakim show. I got to space this out because 9 times out of 10, y'all know it, I only bring people that are legitimate. If you're legit and you're authentic, you can come on this show. If you're a punk and a sellout, I ain't having you. And if I do want to have you on this show, believe me, I'm gonna give you the workover. Oh yeah, but. Like I said, Dave is going to be on here Friday. Good man. He's going to be on here Friday. He's going to be talking about what the Land Bank here in Wilmington, Delaware is doing. And it doesn't matter whether you're from Wilmington, Delaware or from the state of Delaware. You can get some good information to bring back to your state. And that's what we have to do. We have to make sure that we keep the connections open. Now, okay, I'm going to say this real quick, y'all. And I need to get this one out because this is going to be telling. All right, so 495 goes through Wilmington, goes through Delaware, it goes from the Pennsylvania line all the way down to, then they combine with 95. You know how that goes and blah, blah, blah. So if you're going to be coming in Delaware in the next 2 years, I want you to come here, spend your money so to keep my taxes down, keep my property taxes down. But I do have to tell you this. They're getting ready to start another project on I-95 right before you get to Maryland. Thank you, Delaware. They're going to do another project. So if you're coming to Delaware in the next 2 or 3 years, I would advise you to bring your patience. I know it's only 15 minutes from the end of the Delaware Memorial Bridge until the Maryland Toll Plaza, but that 15 minutes is going to get longer because they're going to do more construction. We just had 95 in Wilmington brought back, and now we're going to have this. All right, y'all. So here's where I'm going with this. And before we get out of here, we just wanted to give you a quick one because we've got so many guests that are going to be on in May, June, and July. And then I got to take some days off. We got big parties. You know, that's when I got to put on my DJ Jakim hat. We got events all over the place. Remember, you can get in contact with us at btom6164. That's BTHOMP 6164 at gmail.com. That's gmail.com. That's it. btom6164 at gmail.com. If you want to get in contact with us, if you want to get on the show, if you want to do whatever you want to promote and it's authentic, you can get in contact with us, btom6164 at gmail.com. Also, you can go to YouTube at Delaware Info Now, YouTube at Delaware Info Now. You can check out some past videos. You can check out some past stuff. Listen, I try to get one of the Delaware, and you know we got a lot of them here. I try to get one of the Delaware racists to come on my show. He doesn't want to come on my show because he's avoiding me like the plague. He said he wanted to come on and debate, and then he didn't want to debate. They don't want to debate. They don't want none of that. That might have been him right now calling over here. I don't know what that is. But again, if you want to get in contact with us, btom6164. That's BTHOMP 6164 at gmail.com. Listen, I'm going to go to you. For all those who keep saying they don't want to get involved in politics, although politics is involved in anything you do because it controls the policies of your life, it controls everything that you want to do. Here's a great comedian, man. Big shout out to NATO, and I'm going to talk about his comedy thing here, but this is NATO. For all those that don't want to get involved in politics, check it out. It's pretty funny.
People don't want to talk about politics. They're like, NATO, why do you got to talk about politics? What do politics have to do with me? I'm not an immigrant or a black person or a Muslim or a Jew or a gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender or a woman or an old person or a young person or a student or a union member or artist or journalist or scientist or public employee. I don't breathe the air or drink the water. I don't live in a coastal region that'll be affected by sea level rise or an arid region that'll be affected by drought or fire. I don't like chocolate, wine, or coffee or other commodities that will no longer be available due to climate change. I'm not mentally ill, pregnant, disabled, or currently being shot at, so what do politics have to do with me?
All right, so NATO, that was 100%. Let me give you a little credit to. He's absolutely right. Politics has everything to do with everybody because it's about the policies that dictate your life. Now, I did say I was going to spend a little time on this. I'm going to spend a real poquito time on it. If y'all did not know on Black Twitter and did not know what happened this week as far as Ayala Van Zandt had an interview with Eboni K. Williams, and Eboni K. Williams is part of the griot, and I love her to death. I love Eboni K. Williams. I actually like what she says. But she may have stepped in it a little bit this week. Just because I like you don't mean that I can't say that you stepped into it. One of the questions that she gave to Ayala was, would you date a bus driver? And Ayala basically said, yeah, I would date a bus driver. And Eboni said, no, well, I think Ayala gave her the question. I have the video somewhere. I didn't play it. And she said, no, I would not date a bus driver unless he owned a bus. And that was from Eboni K. Williams. And listen, I looked at some of the comments, and the comments were over the top. Some of the comments were, they were against black sisters. They were against saying everything that black women are gold diggers, to everything that's negative that you would like to hear if you wanted to hear that garbage. Let me just say this. I'm not here to speak for Eboni K. Williams. I wouldn't even try to, because she can speak for herself. I think it went over some of the people's heads where she was trying to go. Now, I'm not going to say what she said was right. That's not what I'm saying. What I am going to say, if you like mediocrity, if you like average, if you like all those things that this culture tries to put on black men, black women, that you're average, you're typical. And I think she said it in her response. And I'm going to, kind of agree. If you're average or typical or whatever, or like Dr. Claude Anderson say, you're going to play what roles that they give you as a black person, those corridors, then you're not for her. And she is not for you. It's not that she thinks she's better, not what I gather from it. And again, I'm not speaking for her. I'm going to give you my point of view. I'm going to give you my take on it. It's not that she was saying that she was better, but I think what she was trying to say and maybe didn't get across, or maybe she did. Remember, I started this conversation tonight about the sellout Timmys and the community cracktivists. But the bigotry of low expectations. And she had a point with that. She says, yes, if you can drive a bus, why can't you own a bus? We have a problem in our communities that we think we shouldn't be owners. Yes, I'm sorry. We have a problem in our community that B and C and D students, as long as you tried your best, is good. No, it's not. We need to get out of that. And there's a bigotry out there that wants to keep you in certain corridors, wants to keep you in certain ways, wants to keep you average. Like she said, I'm going to say she's absolutely right. Regular and typical. Now, would I date somebody who's a bus driver? You damn right I would. I married one. She was a bus driver in New York City. So listen, I have no problem with bus drivers, but average may not be good enough for certain people. Average, just a person who has a job and not looking to have ownership and have financial freedom may not be good enough for certain people. I used to hate those when I was 17. Oh my God, she's such a gold digger. You know how we said those stupid things when we were younger. And then we understood. It's not the money, it's the aspirations to do better. Some of us don't ever want to aspire to do better. And if my energy is not that way, why would I be associated with somebody whose energy is? So, not again. Though you could send me all your negative stuff. You can send me all your positive stuff to btom6164@gmail.com. If you don't like what I just said, you can send it to btom6164@gmail.com, or you can go under our Facebook page on the Hard Talk with Jakim show, or TikTok, or Instagram, or Twitter at The Real Jakim. But I'm going to do this, and I'm going, like I said, when I go and meet my maker, when it's my last day, I want it on my tombstone that he said what he said. And what I said is, there is something there, what she said about that. Now, that doesn't mean that's for everybody. And I know that. And I know that if you're in different energies, or if you're in different vibrations, that may not be somebody who's a go-getter, who's going out there to hustle, who wants ownership. Ownership, because that's the only way you're going to get freedom. Ownership. Not a job, ownership. If you're not one of those people that like those types of people, they're not for you. But she got some real, Eboni K. Williams really got some real hate letter and hate comments. And some of the comments were way over the top. I think Brother Kevin Samuels was here. He was saying something like, bye. They were way over the top. And I understand it. So let me just, before we leave, I was going to give a shout out to a couple of people that I follow on TikTok. Now, whether you like TikTok or not, if you do get a TikTok, this young man is fantastic. I told him I'll give him a shout out. He already got a nice following on TikTok. His name is This Is Corey. This Is Corey does reenactments of historical stuff. And he's one black guy who's doing all of these things, and his stuff are funny, and you'll learn something. In fact, you'll learn something. His 1812, about the War of 1812 with Britain, was one of the funniest. Go check it out. The same thing I will say also, know your rights. Let me just say this real quick. Coming from law enforcement, working with NYPD, New York City Department of Corrections, working with the EMT, and many other organizations, the court offices. I'm appalled a lot of time when I watch on TikTok on one of those channels like Know Your Rights or Police TV, KA17, because these police officers around the country evidently don't know their own police guides or rules and regs or whatever they have, because they are constantly asking people for ID that are not suspected of a crime. And when they ask them, do you suspect me of a crime? Because I'm not giving you my ID, just not to violate my constitutional rights. It goes into something else. So if you want to see some of those videos, if you go to Know Your Rights, Know Your Rights has a lot of them. There's a bunch of them on there. And it's almost insidious that if a person puts up a camera, got a phone in your face and recording you, and you're still arrogant enough to violate their constitutional rights, you should get everything that's coming to you. Because right then you should be saying, let me go back to my rules and regs and whatever. When the sergeant, lieutenant, and a lot of these people are winning. They're actually winning cases, lawsuits against the county because these police officers are not doing their job. One of those cases, and I'm just going to talk that before we get out of here, is filming in a federal post office. Now, let me give you my caveat so that you don't know it. I am not a lawyer. I'm not giving you any law advice. Do not say that I gave you any law advice. If you want to do any filming in those places, you need to find that out for yourself. I do not give legal advice, period. Now, with that being said, man, these people are getting caught out there. Go check them out, y'all. Know Your Rights. All right, y'all. Before I leave out of here, let me just see this real quick.
The Hard Talk with Jakim Show.
The independent voice you need. The Hard Talk with Jakim Show.
There's always so much sympathy for folks like that. People say, well, I have a cousin who feels that way. She's not so bad. My aunt voted for Donald Trump, and she's a nice person. My mother supports him. She doesn't like his tweets, but she's not terrible. Here's the newsflash. Your aunt, your mother, your grandmother, whoever supports that philosophy, they actually are terrible people. That actually is garbage when you support racism. It doesn't matter how related you are. But we extend humanity.
Big ups to black leadership in Delaware. The 5 black leaders that's in Delaware that are doing the fantastic jobs, a big shout out to you. The rest of you, you're garbage. All right, this has been the Hard Talk with Jakim Show. Listen, I'm going to be back Friday. We got some people from the land bank here in Wilmington. We got some commercial landing, commercial stuff, and residential investing on how to get those monies so that you can purchase those on Sunday. We're going to have Sister Sultan here. We're going to be all right with that. And let me just say this to y'all. Before we leave out of here today, get involved, y'all, because we got way too many psychos running. Listen, I remember a couple of years ago, Beyonce had a song that girls run the world. That's a lie. You know who runs the world? Psychos run this world. Y'all be safe, y'all. Peace and blessings. Y'all have a good one. Ciao.